$3.2 billion. That's the staggering valuation of the Aston Martin Formula One team after its parent company just sold a tiny 4.6% stake for $145 million. But behind these eye-popping numbers lies a fascinating story of struggle, ambition, and the complex dynamics shaping one of F1's most intriguing teams. The luxury car manufacturer Aston Martin is bleeding money. Their stock has plummeted 34% in just the first quarter of 2025. Their hypercar sales are struggling, and punishing trade tariffs are crushing their ability to sell vehicles in the crucial US market. Yet somehow, their Formula One team's value continues to soar. How is this possible? The answer lies with one man, Lawrence Stroll. The Canadian billionaire's journey in F1 reads like a masterclass in value creation. Back in 2017, he acquired the struggling Force India team when it went into administration. Within 4 years, he had transformed it into Aston Martin F1, bringing one of Britain's most iconic automotive brands back to the sport. As veteran F1 analyst Martin Thompson notes, what Stroll has accomplished is remarkable. He took a midfield team worth perhaps $200 million and turned it into a multi-billion-dollar powerhouse through sheer force of will and strategic vision. Today's sale by Aston Martin's automotive division doesn't signal trouble for the racing team, quite the opposite. It represents the final separation between the struggling car company and the thriving F1 operation. The team will retain the Aston Martin name and branding through a commercial agreement, while Lawrence Stroll's consortium tightens its grip on the operation. The automotive industry and Formula One are two very different beasts, explains Sarah Chen, motorsport finance analyst. While Aston Martin struggles with traditional business challenges like tariffs and production costs, their F1 team operates in a different universe, where brand value and technological innovation drive astronomical valuations. Those valuations have been climbing rapidly. Recent deals with Arctos and the sales of HPS and Axle Partners stakes valued the team between NXT $1.3 billion and $2.4 billion. Now, this latest transaction pushes that figure even higher to $3.2 billion. For perspective, that's more than some entire automotive companies are worth. But Stroll isn't just collecting impressive numbers, he's building for the future. The team has invested heavily in new facilities at Silverstone, including a state-of-the-art wind tunnel. They've recruited top talent from rivals Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. And perhaps most importantly, they've secured the services of two-time world champion Fernando Alonso. The Spanish veteran has been a revelation for the team, consistently extracting maximum performance from the car. However, at 42 years old, he's closer to the end of his career than the beginning. This creates an interesting dynamic with the team's other driver, Lance Stroll, Lawrence's son. The younger Stroll's presence in the team has been a constant source of controversy. While he's shown flashes of speed, his performances haven't consistently matched those of his more experienced teammate. As former F1 technical director James Anderson puts it, having your father own the team is both a blessing and a curse. Lance has job security, but he also faces constant scrutiny about whether he truly deserves his seat. This driver situation becomes particularly crucial as Aston Martin prepares for F1's dramatic rule changes in 2026. According to Alonso himself, about 80% of the team's current focus is already on their 2026 car. The legendary designer Adrian Newey initially refused to work on 2025 developments, preferring to concentrate entirely on the new regulations, until Lawrence Stroll convinced him to split his attention. The 2026 regulations represent a complete reset for Formula One, with new power units and significant aerodynamic changes. The FIA has learned from past mistakes when Mercedes dominated the start of the turbo hybrid era in 2014 and has implemented measures to prevent any team from gaining an overwhelming advantage from day one. For Aston Martin, this regulatory overhaul represents their best chance to break into the sport's elite. The team has every ingredient needed for success, says technical analyst Patricia Wong. World-class facilities, experienced personnel, strong financial backing. The only question mark remains over their driver lineup post-2026. Here's the seamless continuation of the script. These massive investments into 2026 might seem like a gamble, but Aston Martin has secured a crucial advantage that could reshape their future: an exclusive engine partnership with Honda. The Japanese manufacturer, after their successful stint with Red Bull, will focus solely on powering Aston Martin's ambitions from 2026 onwards. Honda's decision to partner exclusively with Aston Martin speaks volumes, notes power unit specialist Dr. Elena Rodriguez. Their hybrid technology expertise, combined with Aston's infrastructure investments, creates a perfect storm of opportunity. But turning opportunity into success requires more than just technical prowess. The team faces a delicate balancing act with their driver lineup. Fernando Alonso, despite his age, continues to demonstrate why he's considered one of F1's greatest talents. His contract runs through 2026, but the question on everyone's mind is, what happens after that? Lance Stroll's position becomes even more crucial in this context. The younger Stroll has shown flashes of brilliance, including several podium finishes, but consistency remains elusive. Recent car upgrades have reportedly posed challenges for his driving style, raising concerns about his adaptability to the radical changes coming in 2026. The team's reserve driver, Felipe Drugovich, waits in the wings. The former F2 champion represents the kind of young talent that teams traditionally build their future around. However, the unique dynamics of having the team owner's son in one of the race seats complicates what would otherwise be a straightforward succession planning process. Former F1 team principal Richard Masters offers a candid assessment. Lawrence Stroll faces his toughest decision yet. Does he prioritize the team's competitive future or maintain faith in his son's development? It's a challenge that tests both his business acumen and his paternal instincts. The financial stakes couldn't be higher. The team's recent $3.2 billion valuation puts them in rarefied air, worth more than some established automotive manufacturers. This valuation isn't just about current performance, it's a bet on future potential. The separation from Aston Martin's struggling road car division through the recent stake sale actually strengthens the team's position, allowing them to focus purely on racing success without being dragged down by automotive industry headwinds. Andy Cowell, Aston Martin's team principal, emphasizes the long-term vision. When you invest in a wind tunnel, when you hire the best engineers in the business, when you secure a manufacturer partnership like Honda, these aren't moves for short-term gains. We're building something that will compete for championships, not just podiums. The team's Silverstone base has become a symbol of this ambition. The new technical campus rivals anything in Formula One, with state-of-the-art simulation facilities and a wind tunnel specifically designed for the ground effect aerodynamics that will dominate the 2026 regulations. They've also been aggressive in recruitment, pulling top talent from competitors like Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. But perhaps most telling is how Adrian Newey, arguably the sport's greatest aerodynamicist, has been convinced to split his attention between current development and the 2026 project. Newey's involvement signals serious intent, says aerodynamics expert James Chen. He doesn't waste time on projects unless he sees genuine potential for innovation and success. The FIA's approach to the 2026 regulations has been carefully crafted to prevent any team from building an insurmountable advantage. The lessons from Mercedes' dominance at the start of the hybrid era have led to more restrictive development rules and cost caps. This could work in Aston Martin's favor, as their fresh infrastructure and Honda partnership won't be handicapped by legacy systems or old thinking. The next 18 months will be crucial for Aston Martin. While their current form shows promise, the real test lies in how effectively they can translate their massive investments and technical partnerships into performance under the new regulations. With Honda's proven hybrid expertise, Newey's aerodynamic genius, and Lawrence Stroll's ambitious vision, they have assembled all the pieces needed for success. The only question that remains is whether they can put these pieces together effectively while navigating the complex human dynamics within the team. As Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, recently observed, Formula One is entering a new era in 2026, and teams like Aston Martin have positioned themselves to potentially reshape the established order. The next few years will show us who has made the right bets on the future.